There's two things I know for sure. She was sent here from heaven, and she's Daddy's little girl. As I drop to my knees by her bed at night, she talks to Jesus, and I close my eyes, and I thank God for all of the joy in my life. Oh, but most of all, for butterfly kisses after bedtime prayer, sticking little white flowers all up in her hair. Walk beside the pony, Daddy, it's my first ride. I know the kick looks funny, Daddy, but I sure tried. Oh, with all that I've done wrong, I must have done something right to deserve a hug every morning and butterfly kisses at night. She's sweet 16 today, and she's looking like her mama a little more every day. One part woman, the other part girl, into perfume and makeup, from ribbons and curls, trying her wings out in a great big world. But I remember those butterfly kisses after bedtime prayer, sticking little white flowers all up in her hair. You know how much I love you, Daddy, but if you don't mind, I'm only gonna kiss you on the cheek this time. Oh, with all that I've done wrong, I must have done something right to deserve her love every morning and butterfly kisses at night.
On this precious time,
Oh, like the wind the years go by,
precious butterfly,
spread your wings and fly. She'll change her name today. She'll make a promise, and I'll give her away. Standing in the bright room, just staring at her, she asks me what I'm thinking, and I said, I'm not sure. I just feel like I'm losing my baby girl. And she leaned over and gave me butterfly kisses with her mama there, sticking little white flowers all up in her hair. Walk me down the aisle, Daddy, it's just about time. Does my wedding gown look pretty, Daddy? Daddy, don't cry. Oh, with all that I've done wrong, I must have done something right to deserve her love every morning. Butterfly kisses, I couldn't ask God for more. Man, this is what love is. I know I've gotta let her go, but I'll always remember hugs in the morning, butterfly kisses at night.
I don't want to do this. But, yeah. Okay.
I
Something happened? Whoops. Okay, I'm going to read this because that's going to work best for me. Peggy and I and Lily would like to thank you all for coming and sharing this very special day. Oh, it says, by the way, I'm Gary Tessa's dad. I better read that. I called Tessa Philly her whole life. Why? I don't know. It just seemed to fit for some reason. So I call her Philly. We've known Scott since junior high. When he and Tessa became good friends, or Philly. And they remained that way for several years until they started dating and are now committed to spending the rest of their lives together. From what I heard from the experts, and I believe this myself, is that what better way to be married than to start out as friends? How many people have done that? You know, 4, 5, 6 years of friendship before dating. I think I knew my wife about 4 or 5 or 6 minutes. But it worked out, so I guess it goes both ways. Oh, no, I lost my place. And I know it was like 31 years ago that Larry and Irene welcomed me to their family. And we'd like to do the same for Scott right now and welcome him to our sometimes crazy family. We couldn't be happier with Tessa's choice for a lifetime companion in Scott. I'm going to try to do this without crying. If I cry, you guys won't laugh. Because I'm an emotional kind of guy, I guess. I'm going to keep this kind of brief here, Philly, but I've got to talk to a few things that, you know, throughout your life have made me very proud. Choked up, sorry. This is probably about the only time in my life that I'll be able to tell you these things. And so, at about age 4, you were 4 years old. Mom and I were painting the fence around our lovely trailer in East Dubuque. Painting a nice red color to match the red shag carpeting. Makes me puke thinking about it. But we lived there and we had about 10 great years there. And Tessa says, I'd like to help you guys paint that fence. And we're like, okay. So Mom braided her long hair, put a bandana on her head, and we gave her a paint and a brush and said, come and help us. And she did that. She did that for hours at 4 years old. And I said to Lily, I said, I can't believe that a 4-year-old child would sit and help and work that hard for 4 hours. It just was what kind of a person that Tessa was at that young age. And it impressed me. I couldn't believe it. The other kids weren't quite like that. But I still wanted to. So that was, you know, it was just a sign of things to come, what kind of person she was, very hard worker. And it was great, it was great. And this applied throughout her whole schooling. And she graduated from Wahlert with highest honors, and I was so happy. She graduated from UNI. I think if I say this wrong, don't laugh at me, cum laude. That made me really so happy, and so very proud. And now I lost my place. Okay, here I go. And in 8th grade, Tessa was awarded the Christian Character Award, and we were so very proud. Plus, they gave us money for tuition at Wahlert. Because you all know Wallert's real cheap. So that was great as well. And I can't go through this without saying something about Tessa as an athlete. I had no idea. I watched her play soccer from the time she was a little girl. I had no idea that she was as good as she was until she got to Wahlert. She got plenty of playing time as a sophomore, which surprised me because at that time Wahlert was top team in the state. And her junior year, she was a starter. They finished second in state. Her senior year, they were state champs. They were the last team to beat Cedar Rapids Xavier. Some Xavier people here, and I just said, I cheer for her! How about that? So, and that made us very happy, very proud. It was awesome. It just, you know, it's a memory I'll never forget. Choked up again, sorry. My mom and I have always loved Tessa's group of friends. They're great. And, you know, Lily, if Karen and Dan would have let us, Mallory would have been one of our daughters, and Lily wanted to raise her, but Karen and Dan didn't want to cooperate. Said, no, she's coming back to Chicago with us, you idiot. So that was, well, you know what. And even, you know, even when we found out that Tessa, you know, she was up in her room studying with adult beverages. I studied with adult beverages, and it didn't work too damn good, I'll tell you that. But we weren't so happy. But that was about the worst thing that she did her entire life, so we're happy. And we love Tessa's friends. They used to come over and hang out at the house all the time, like a swarm of bees on the front porch. And then we got a swimming pool, and they would never leave. But we loved them. They'd come over for cookouts, and it was, you know, Lily just loved that stuff, and I didn't mind. I liked the kids. So that's very special memories, and we still hope that you people, you know, continue to come to our house and do that. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention that when that adult beverage drinking was going on up in Tessa's room, Eddie here was the only one that tried to keep him straight and refused to do anything against the law. Underage. Now you tell us that. But, so, yeah, she's had great friends. It's been so much fun to raise her as a daughter, I can't tell you. Okay, that's about enough. That's good. Tessa, you were always a beauty, and you were just radiant today. And the $16,000 with the diamonds hanging out of it, too. But I would just love to say, couldn't be happier to have Scott in our families. Scott's is just smart, hardworking, good-looking young fella, very kind, and they complement each other perfectly. And I'm so happy. It's perfect to me. I just couldn't be a happier man. And what did they call you? What did the girls call you in high school? Hottie Scotty or something like that? Scotty, too hot. That's good. I thought that was pretty cool. Nobody called me. They called me things, but I'm not going to elaborate too much. So, you know, I'm going to shut my mouth and get out of here now. I just have to leave you with this. It took Lily and I a while to figure this out, but I guarantee you a happy marriage. You put God first, each other second, and family and friends third. I love you both. God bless you all. Now, these two get to stand here and do this. Who's going first? Eddie? She's going. Mel. Mel's going. Mel, here you go.
Look at the two of you dancing that way, lost in the moment and each other's face. So much in love, you're alone in this place, like there's nobody else in the world. I was enough for her not long ago. I was her number one She told me so, and she still means the world to me, just so you know. So be careful when you hold my girl. Time changes everything, life must go on. I'm not gonna stand in your way. I loved her first, I held her first, and a place in my heart will always be hers. From the first breath she breathed, when she first smiled at me, I knew the love of a father runs deep. And I prayed that she'd find you someday, but it's still hard to give her away. I loved her first. How could that beautiful woman wait to you be the same freckle-faced kid that I knew, one that I read all those fairy tales to, and tucked into bed all those nights? And I knew the first time I saw you with her, it was only a matter of time. I loved her first, I held her first, and a place in my heart will always be hers. From the first breath she breathed, when she first smiled at me, I knew the love of a father runs deep. And I prayed that she'd find you someday, but it's still hard to give her away. I loved her first. From the first breath she breathed, when she first smiled at me, I